Hi, Donna. How are you doing?
Good morning. Doing fabulous.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah, I'll be, excuse me, I'll be listening on the road because I'm headed out to
No worries.
out in the sticks to go look at a house for a listing.
Oh, how exciting.
Yeah.
We will be joined by our speaker momentarily, so enjoy your trip. All right. Hi, Casey. How are you doing?
Hey guys, I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. So we've got a few speakers or a few listeners in the room today. So whenever you're ready, we can go ahead and get started. I know we have a quick session today, and so just going to be looking at some updates with Rolla and creating some short form video content. So I will hand over the reins to you, Casey. Feel free to take it away.
Okay, very cool. And just want to confirm, sharing screen right now will be, is it a vertical format right now? I just see myself like this. I just wanted to know if I'm just going to share my screen. It's a landscape presentation, so let's see.
Yeah, that's totally fine. That's totally fine.
Okay.
Yep, there it is.
And that's coming through. Everyone can see the whole screen.
We're all good.
Okay. All right, let me know if it gets cut off. It still looks vertical on my end, but cool, guys. It's nice to meet everyone. I'm Casey. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Rolla, a video app which I'm going to tell you a little bit of information about. But I first just wanted to kind of allow you to get to know me a little bit, because we're starting to get more and more involved in the Radius community, and rather than us always talk about our product and what it does and everything, we figured this might be an opportunity to just give you some basic information about short form video and just generally how it can benefit you, and then talk a little bit more about the product. I do have some questions that I'd like to ask in case anyone's willing to participate, just to keep things conversational. But as far as me, prior to building this tool, Rolla, I ran a creative agency in New York, focused mostly on luxury real estate, hospitality, tourism, but really focused on productizing video in the real estate space. Just making it really easy to sell specific kinds of videos that real estate agents needed. We ended up marketing over $6 billion worth of single family homes using video content strategies. And where things got really fun and interesting for our business was we started getting hired by some of the top real estate agents across the country to work on off-market properties, where essentially we would take our entire agency and spend 3 full days at these homes. And we would shoot, sunrise, sunset, aerials, time lapse, models, props, storyline, narrative. I mean, everything. It was like creating Nike ads for these homes. And we had such a blast doing it. But in the process, learned a lot about how to streamline the video content creation process, because we know that it can be expensive, and there's a lot of logistics and coordination and scheduling that go into working with film companies. And so I want to just set the tone there, so you guys know. I mean, our expertise is in video content creation. And so before I kind of dive into short form video and some statistics around it, can you guys help me understand, for anyone who's attending right now, what kind of video content are you currently creating, and how are you creating it? That would be really helpful for me to know.
Hey, Donna, if you're able, do you want to chime in there?
Yeah. So mostly what we've done so far is short little blurbs on buying process. We haven't done much on market the current market conditions and all that. But we do a lot of walkthroughs.
So a lot of property-based content?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything beyond? Don, are you ever on camera talking about the market, showing neighborhoods, anything like that, or mostly property specific?
Mostly property specific at this point. I want to get into stuff like that. I just haven't gotten there yet.
Gotcha. And you're hiring a film company to do those?
No.
Okay, you're doing them yourself.
I do it all myself with whatever is on my phone and my laptop, and I stitch stuff together.
So you're taking some time doing some editing, kind of figuring out a couple of tools so that you can be more self-sufficient. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Donna or anyone else who is on, what are the results you guys want to see when you're creating video content? Is it that you want to book more appointments? You want to, get more leads? Close on property? What is it exactly you want? What is the goal for you for video?
In short, my answer is yes.
I know it's all the above, right? And that's what I hope today will be helpful with you guys, is understanding really like how to segment what your goals are with certain kinds of videos you put out, because you can't expect to make one video and then like it to work across the board for all of the touch points in the sales and marketing process of an agent. But nonetheless, it is very important. The most compelling statistics that we found is those that 73% of consumers really want to watch video content before they take that next step in learning about a product, or maybe calling and learning more about it in that way. And so clearly video is important. It's no longer a nice to have. It really is a must have. And when you think about the statistics of video within real estate, it is time to get serious about making video in your guys' industry. As a real estate agent, you have a very unique opportunity to create compelling content. The reason why is because you have access to lots of different homes. You have access and insight into local neighborhoods. You are experts in your market, and that data changes every day. You guys really have such a unique opportunity to be really the source of truth for a lot of people. And so, to create content in different locations that are diverse and unique and super interesting, you just have so much opportunity in comparison to lots of other industries. And so just really remind yourself that when you're thinking, should I or shouldn't I make a video? You have every opportunity to as a real estate agent. 86% of buyers and sellers, they want to work with an agent that uses video as a tool to communicate. And so, what's interesting nowadays is that buyers and sellers aren't just looking for properties on Instagram. They're looking for agents to work with too. And, by you getting on camera, getting more familiar with an audience, is a lot more likely that they're going to pick up the phone and call you and have a dialogue. It's part of sales, right? I mean, when you get a cold call, it's a little off-putting. But if you see someone repeatedly on Instagram and their face and their likeness and their storyline, you're more likely to engage with. They're more likely to engage with you. Right. And so just keep that in mind. But ultimately, you got to put yourself on the map and create some sort of content, because if you're not, your competition is, and they're going to be stifling business from you. So got to put yourself out there. The definition of short form content really just refers to, media that is 5 to 90 seconds. Video's got to be short and quick, really easily digestible for viewers who are scrolling through social media. On their feeds and outlets. So the content just has to be really easy to comprehend and really actionable. There are two types of content you can create, vertical and horizontal. When you think about your leads, they're all scrolling through their phone on vertical feeds, right? And so it'd be best practice to really make sure that the content you're creating is in that same format. Just easier for them to look at and understand and digest. By contrast, if you really look at like horizontal or landscape videos, they do appear small in the phones, maybe a little difficult to view. They definitely result in lower engagement. But it's really not to say that horizontal video is not good. Horizontal video is great for YouTube, for the MLS, for your listing page, maybe for your website, right? Like horizontal content is just going to have a longer shelf life. And so really just think about where you're going to, where your content is going to live before you make it. That's pretty much my point. The parts of the video are a hook, information, and the call to action. So before you start creating any content, you really got to keep in mind these three things. Now, we all know, because we watch videos all the time, with a hook, you got a few seconds before someone scrolls on to the next thing. So what you say here or show here is critical. It's got to be a powerful statement. Think about it as, being in a group conversation, right? You say something, you want to get a stranger to lean in and then ask, wait, what? So you really have to bring attention, right? There are some great words, or phrases, which I can share with everyone. And I'll share this presentation with you after, so you can have it. But words like, I have a secret. Did you know that? If you want to achieve X, Y, or Z, listen up. I bet you didn't know this, right? These are all punchy, quick phrases that, compared to so much other content that's out there, it's going to improve your engagement and your viewership. So a great hook also requires you to be on camera. And so it's just really important, at this point that you get comfortable being on camera. I know that it might feel a little weird at first. Truth is, though, everyone else sees you in the world this way every day. So it's really no surprise to anyone else except for yourself. How you look and sound, this is what it is. This is how I look and sound when I talk to people. So, I'm sure if I watched a video of myself doing it, I'd be like, weird. But you got to get over it if you want to be successful with video. And things will always get better and easier the more that you try.
Casey, I have a question for you. Do you think, in your opinion, does production value of the video, does that change the amount of engagement or reach that a video has? Is that something that you've kind of seen in your work at all?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna get to that in a minute, because it is really important. No, it's fine.
I got ahead of myself.
No, stop me anytime. That's all about authenticity, and I'll get into sort of what I think is. It always all depends, right, on what your end goal is, and so I can speak to that. I can speak to that shortly.
Absolutely.
Even when you're on the phone with a buyer or seller, you really got to think about. I really like making this analogy of, like, think about the times where you're on the phone and you're talking to a buyer or seller, right? Think about how you communicate with them. It's the same thing as being on video. You just gotta start. It's not like you're incapable of communicating your thoughts. You do it every day with your leads. You just gotta get used to doing it with a phone in front of your face. Honestly, I mean, it's just the reality of it. Are going to be relevant. I like to think of those pieces of content as like frequently asked questions that you get from buyers and sellers. Those are things that don't normally change all that much, and maybe you get bombarded with those questions all the time. This is a great way to create content using video to answer those questions more efficiently and quickly, and send those videos out to people when they do ask you those questions. But evergreen content, super important. The last piece of the video that I just feel gets overlooked all the time is, what do you want a viewer to do after watching this video? The call to action. You got to make sure that you explicitly state what it is you want a viewer to do. And in my opinion, it's best to work backwards from there, right? Start with your call to action. Start with what you want people to do after watching the video before you even create it. And then start thinking about your creative. Because otherwise you're going to be trying to appease everyone all at once with every piece of content you make. And you really got to think about being intentional with the media that you create, even with short form content. Obviously, you got to make sure, though, that you're going to add copy and links in the description of your posts, though, also, right? Aside from the video itself, you've got descriptions and titling and things like that. Make sure that that's part of your content too, so that you can direct traffic to the right place you want them to go to. We've all seen trends, some really great ones, some really bad ones. There's plenty of, just try it, see how it feels, but really think about the sound bites or the songs that are getting really popular right now, the filters that are being used, the types of animations. Audiences are going to be drawn to these trends because they are what is trending, and they are part of the algorithm. And so, incorporating trends into your videos will 100% increase your chances of more people seeing your video. My personal opinion, though, is to really find a balance between trends that are entertaining, right? And then trends that are informative. Can't forget that TikTok and Instagram are primarily consumer apps, right? Where people who aren't selling content are making stuff for fun, right? You guys as realtors are making content that is really intentional, and you really have an end goal with what you want people to do with it. So really find that balance between entertaining and building that audience, and also being informative and that source of truth that I mentioned earlier. Two more things, and then we can open up for questions. This kind of goes back to the call to action. You got to make sure you know who your audience is. In general, in marketing, it's one of the most important things to do before you come up with a marketing plan, or even sometimes come up with a business model. And even more so when making a single piece of content that you're going to take time to create. Really think about who your audience is. I don't know if you do this already or what, but if you haven't written out personas of who your audience is right now, the clients that you mainly serve, or the clients that you want to start serving more of, you really got to create a bit of a persona outline on that person. Give them a name, make it very personal. And what that'll do is help you understand, what it is you should be saying, how you should be saying it to them. Think about their location, their age, the problems that they're particularly facing, and where you can be, a relief to them. And my suggestion would be to focus on creating just one piece of content, in the next couple of days that would really benefit that one specific audience, because it's really tough to boil the ocean. And then the more intentional you are with your content, the more successful you will be. And maybe one other thing to think about with that audience is, are they more drawn to humor? Are they more drawn to seriousness and just information, professionalism, or like charisma and swagger? Like, what is it that you think that they're going to be most interested in when watching content? And now to Leah's question, this comes down to authenticity, and whether you're making high quality or low quality video, consumers are savvy enough to see right through a faker. And so you have to not be afraid to say and do what is naturally you. Okay? Say and do what is naturally you. You have to be authentic. People are going to connect so much more than that, than maybe an agent who's like reading a script from a teleprompter. Or maybe has a $10,000 budget and made, this hugely, high production value video. Just remember that people's attention spans are short. If you're going to spend $5,000 to $10,000 on a whole big expensive production, you may lose people in the first 3 seconds if you didn't create an authentic connection with them right off the bat. And so, before you go spending all that kind of money, my suggestion is, figure out what is most authentic and try to create some content yourself. It's going to cost you far less money, and test and see what resonates with people. But people are drawn to videos that are real, they're honest, they're sincere. And so, that is my take on sort of high production value content versus maybe lo-fi content. And no one really has an unlimited budget. And so, again, my suggestion is really to start with create a couple of videos, very basic videos yourself, to see what works for you.
Mm-hmm. Particularly as it relates to real estate too, what do you think in terms of the frequency of posting this type of content? And how do you think that agents can best incorporate that into, they have very flexible schedules. It's sometimes difficult for them to, just like sit down and carve out time to create these videos. So what does that frequency and that cadence kind of look like?
Absolutely. Look, people stress out thinking that every single day they need to wake up and create a bunch of content. It's simply not true. If you think about a whole month that you got, pick 2 days out of that month to spend 2 hours, put it on your calendar way in advance. Sit down, talk about frequently asked questions you get from buyers and sellers, talk about what's going on in the market. Set aside that time and you'll realize that you actually will end up with a significant amount of content to be able to share over the course of a month. And so just really think about, actual creation of the content. It doesn't have to happen every single day. But you just have to plan in advance and you'll be able to have more content to share over time than you might realize. It is super important to be sharing content on a regular basis. Think about it. The people who are on the call right now, if you're scrolling through Instagram, there are clearly accounts that you're seeing pop up more often. And it means that you're thinking about them more often or listening to them more often. So naturally, the more content you produce, the more likely you're going to be discovered, and the more people are going to see you 3, 4, 5, 50 times. So you got to be creating pretty regularly, but it doesn't mean that you need to be actually creating the content every day that you're posting it, if that makes sense.
Some of the things that we do at Radius too, I don't manage our social channels, but I work closely with Katie, who does. And one of the things that she really is a fan of is batch creation. So sitting down, creating, different types of B-roll content, having that library of content that she can refer back to. So as long as you guys as agents are really making sure that you set that time aside, at the end of the day, it's really just about being organized and having that time management skill and just making sure that we're being intentional with both of those things, because Casey, like you said, these things, it doesn't mean that you have to wake up every day and necessarily be like, oh, I'm going to sit down for 2 hours every day and create a whole bunch of content. That's just, it tends to not be as realistic with a real estate agent schedule as like.
Totally.
Yeah.
So. Totally. And it's like, look, well, the assumption also is that, as an agent, you've been in the business long enough and you're literally in the business of sales and marketing. This is what everyone who is a real estate agent is a salesperson. And so for you to, there's just so much opportunity to create content based on things that you already know, that you don't have to write a script for, that you just speak naturally as if you were actually pitching, presenting to someone, or on a call with someone who said, I'm looking at a property in Miami. What do you think's going on in the market? So,
and you can use sound bites too from that content as well.
Absolutely. Now, quick summary, in what we just went over, just before you create the content, know where it's going to live. And that means deciding if you're going to film something in horizontal or vertical. With the content itself, got to have a strong hook. Bring a stranger into the conversation. Ask them, say what, right? The information, the meat of the middle of the video has got to be short, sweet, concise, so that someone can really understand what you said and what they need to do, which is the call to action. What do you want that viewer to do after they watch that video? Super important to know your audience. Otherwise, your might fall on deaf ears. Really know who you're talking to, and of course, be authentic, because people will see right through that stuff otherwise, and they'll skip. They'll just skip to the next video. There are a lot of coaches and experts in marketing and media who do what I just did, get on, explain you some of the things that are most important when it comes to video, but rarely actually give you a specific tool and say, this is something that's actually going to help you get started. We know that agents who aren't creating video, you guys got to crawl before you walk. And so what we've built is a tool that's going to help you do that. And that's, part of the reason why we're partnered with Radius. But the reason why we built this tool is because we understand you as agents have two options to create video. You can hire a video company. It's expensive, lots of logistics, coordination, scheduling involved. Or you can try to create video content on your own. But we totally understand that it's hard to know what to capture, how to capture it properly, and most importantly, like having the time to edit videos themselves. And I know Donna left, but Donna is probably spending a lot of time hunched over on her phone trying to edit videos, and that is a time suck.
Still here.
Oh, Donna's still here? My bad.
Yes.
Donna, can you help me understand? Is that?
Yeah, I'm in the car, so there might be some. It's okay. There might be some background noise, but yeah, no, I do it myself. I do it on the laptop. Create the video on my phone and upload it to my laptop and do all my editing there.
And that's certainly a way to do it if you want to. You need to do something that Donna's doing it right. Our solution will help you reduce that amount of time that you might spend doing it. What we saw was during the pandemic, especially, agents couldn't hire video companies, and so they ended up taking matters into their own hands, filming content themselves, but ended up creating some pretty poor content. And it's really not their fault. It's just that TikTok and Instagram don't necessarily give you guidance or support on how to create videos that are unique to real estate. And those tools don't really care whether you shoot something that's great or bad, right? And so we spoke to a lot of marketing advisors, agents, brokerages about what's not working for them from a video creation perspective. And everyone is looking for solutions. And so what we built is a tool called Rolla. It's a mobile video app. It helps anyone with zero video experience become a better video content creator. And we do that using storyboards that will help you stay really organized while you capture your videos. Also help you tell a great story from beginning, middle to end. And real-time capture guidance, which will actually correct you if you're getting a bad shot. So if you're moving too fast, or maybe it's too dark in a room, or maybe there's too much background noise when you're speaking, these are guardrails that the app realizes and will correct you if you're doing something wrong. So really guarantees a level of quality control that you're not going to get from any other apps. And lastly, and probably the most important part of Rolla, is that we handle all of the editing. So there's two ways that you can submit content to Rolla. One is professional video editors who will take care of all the editing for you. They'll produce a really premium final video edit that you're going to be very proud of. Or you can use what Ilya was alluding to, which is Rolla's instant editor. This is something we just recently launched last week. And what it'll allow you to do is select a couple of clips, add music, your title card, your logo, all in the app, press a button, and it will generate the video instantly for you. This is meant more for short form content. So the content we were just talking about before. The instant videos are typically between 20 and 30 seconds. And so that's something we would encourage you to check out and take advantage of if you haven't already. One of the biggest value adds of Rolla, though, is that we maintain brand consistency across every video that's created. So no matter where you are or your ability with video, your videos are always going to follow brand guidelines. And that means your font, your logos, your colors, things of that nature, to really maintain a level of consistency with your content. I'm gonna stop there just to see if anyone has any questions so far about what I've shared with you, and if you were even aware of Rolla within the Radius community yet.
I know we do promote it on our partnerships page, but I am curious to see if anyone has any comments, questions. Just want to make sure that I survey the room as well. But if no one has any questions, I think we're about coming to time for our time together.
Well, if no questions, I just want to make sure everyone is aware. On your Radius dashboard of your platform. If you scroll down to where it says video creator here on the left-hand side, that's where you're going to get introduced to Rolla. And what I would recommend you do is create a free account. Submitting your content to professional editors who are going to make really premium quality videos. There's tons of examples here for you guys to check out. Honestly, was amazed when we started building this to see agents' ability to create such quality content. And so, we really stand by our product, and it really, the proof is in the final videos that have been made. And so, yeah, recommend check it out on your tab on Radius and download the app for free and give it a shot and have some fun trying.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Casey, for joining us in Rooms today. We really appreciate you guys being able to take the time out to speak to our audience. And so once again, I just want to thank you for making the time for us today. So
you got it. Thanks, guys. Feel free to reach out. You got any questions? Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great rest of your Thursday. We'll be in here soon.
Thank you.
Bye.